Welcome to another episode of the Vibrant Soulful Wellness Podcast. This is your podcast for ideas, practices, and strategies for living and working more vibrantly and soulfully. I'm your host, Annie Barrett. I've spent the past 25 years guiding individuals, groups, and workplaces toward higher well-being and greater fulfillment using the tools of coaching, lifestyle medicine, habit change science, mindfulness, Ayurveda, and yoga. And I'm really glad you're here. So, in today's episode, we are talking about caring for our mental health in the winter. And here in the Pacific Northwest, I'm in Olympia, Washington. It's January. The days are getting longer, but for lots of us, especially those of us who live in northern regions, the days are still quite short. And if you feel like the cold, gray, rainy weather makes you feel down, you are not alone. It's not uncommon to experience fatigue, sadness, difficulty concentrating, or just changes in your sleep cycle and in your mood in the winter. For some of us, these mood and physical changes are temporary and they might just be resolved quite quickly with making some lifestyle changes, which we'll talk about today. But for some people, the winter blues can turn into seasonal affect disorder, or SAD, which is a more serious mental health condition. So just to put that one out there, when you experience seasonal affect disorder, this is more than just the blues. It is characterized by 2 weeks or more of symptoms that look and feel like depression and the tendency to withdraw. It's considered a disorder that needs attention and treatment. If you're feeling that something's been going on for 2 weeks, you've got some severe sadness, you're feeling loss of interest, decreased motivation, those might be times that you're going to seek out some support from a therapist. But in this podcast, I want to tell you the good news, which is that there are many easy things that you can do to beat the winter blues, and these also can help ease symptoms of seasonal affect disorder. So we're going to go through some of these tips together. And the first is to watch your media consumption. And I know we are living in challenging times, and so lots of us default to listening and spending a lot of time on our screens. And while we want to be good citizens, we want to pay attention to the news. There are, of course, benefits to media. Too much of this consumption isn't good for us. Too much time on social media or scrolling through news can negatively affect your mental well-being. And so to minimize the anxiety, the stress, the sadness that can come with being on the screens too much, we want to be mindful of the time that we're spending consuming media and mindful of how we are feeling when we're consuming media. So paying attention, bringing mindfulness to the use of our digital devices and to take actions that will help us limit the time that we're spending in front of a screen and to find particularly other activities, satisfying activities to fill our time. So yes, all of that. That's number one. Watch your media consumption. Number two, get physical activity. We all need to move our bodies more daily. We know physical activity, exercise, movement of all sorts throughout the day has been shown to boost our mood, to decrease symptoms of depression, and to reduce stress. And so, any kind of fitness, any kind of activity, any kind of movement will do. Getting up from your desk and stretching, making sure you're walking, if you like running, doing things outdoors in the winter weather like skiing, sledding, snowboarding, indoor activities like swimming and weightlifting and yoga classes. All of that is really important. And especially if you can do some of those activities outside with the appropriate clothing and footwear and mittens and gloves if you need them, even just a few minutes of outside every day, spending a few minutes outside every day can really make a big impact on your mood and help target specific symptoms of seasonal affect disorder related to lack of daylight. So making sure that you are staying active during the winter. And I'll put in a little plug that if being active in the winter for you is doing something indoors, you might try yoga. And you probably know I offer yoga classes throughout the week. Yoga is very effective at reducing symptoms of depression and anxiety. It's a great activity for winter months. For more information on yoga classes, you can check out my website, vibrantsoulful.com. But going on to our tips, I want to invite you to call on your support system. We are not meant to go at it alone as humans, and loneliness and isolation make the effects of winter blues worse. When you call on your support system, which includes your friends, your family, colleagues, sponsors, this is a key for your well being. You want to find a way to spend time with supportive people to boost your mood and to make sure that you are connecting with people on a regular basis, both formally and informally. Next is talking about your sleep. Sleep is a huge factor in mood. Without adequate sleep, your circadian rhythms go out of balance. This impacts your cortisol levels and your hormone production. And so you really want to make sure that you're getting good sleep. I've written a lot about sleep. There are some other podcasts you can find that I've done on sleep. Some of the big tips around sleep are just making sure you go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. You want to create a supportive bedtime routine. The more that your body winds down at night and the more you get yourself up the next morning, the better for your circadian rhythms. The more you can expose yourself to natural daylight or even indoor light when you wake up, the better. Sleeping in a cool and dark room, of course, with adequate covers is important, and making sure you get off your electronics an hour before bed. All of those can really help your sleep routine. Now, we can also boost our mood with food. When we eat healthy food, this is a simple way to improve our mood and research is showing that there are certain foods that are helpful for alleviating symptoms of depression. So here are a few ideas. And these are probably things you already know. You want to eat a whole foods diet with plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables. You want to start your day with making sure you eat a good breakfast and get adequate protein in your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This will help improve your mood and will also prevent carb and sugar cravings later in the day. You want to eat foods that are high in vitamin D, particularly during the winter months. Research has found that people with depression have actually lower levels of vitamin D. People with low levels of vitamin D are at greater risk of depression. There's some more information on eating a supportive winter diet, which you'll find in these podcast episodes. And whenever you can, seek out the sun. Make getting outside a priority in the winter. When the sun is out, get yourself outside, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Seasonal affect disorder symptoms are worsened by lack of sun exposure. So when you're in the sun, this helps balance your serotonin activity. It increases your melatonin production. It balances your circadian rhythms and increases your vitamin D levels, all of which lead to an improved emotional state. Now, what if you are just not getting sun in the area that you are? Reduced sunlight, we know, can disrupt our body's internal clock or circadian rhythm. Our circadian rhythm is like this 24-hour master clock that responds to cues in our surroundings, especially cues for light and darkness. So when the days are short, this can lead to some of these symptoms that we've looked at that are seasonal affect disorder. Light therapy can replace the missing sunlight with artificial light. Light therapy consists of sitting in front of a light box, and I actually have my light box right here that I turn on in the mornings. And it is a light box that has 10,000 lux, and you want to sit in front of it for 20 or so minutes every morning. Studies have shown that light therapy can really relieve these depressive symptoms in the winter, and for as many as 70% of individuals after just a few weeks of treatment. Okay, so that was a lot of lifestyle ideas, habits, practices you can try. But it's also true that sometimes those lifestyle changes aren't providing enough relief. And then we really do want to reach out and seek a professional. Psychotherapy is really recommended to treat depressive disorders and could likely benefit any individual suffering from seasonal affect disorder. Cognitive behavioral therapy is also proven to be very effective. And of course, if you are in crisis, you want to make sure that you connect with a volunteer crisis counselor. You can text 74141 to do that. Okay, I hope that this has given you some good ideas of making the most of winter and helping boost your mood. I am happy to get to share this with you. And I want to thank you for listening to the Vibrant Soulful Wellness Podcast. If you like this episode and you want to hear more episodes, please subscribe to this podcast on Spotify. You can also head over to my website, www.vibrantsoulful.com, where you can join my weekly newsletter. You can get links to these episodes and enjoy a lot of other wellness resources. Thanks so much for being here.